Live. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. We did it. Hey everyone.
Feel like that
We
was the most
are
animated I could be. Like,
look at us. Look at these beautiful faces. Golly. We are so lucky. We are so lucky.
We are.
Ugh. I can't get over how adorbs we are.
thank you.
Especially you two.
Adorable. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
This is
trying to
true.
reduce my levels of charm of late, just because it's been very overwhelming for people,
People
especially
can't handle it. People
yeah,
can't handle it.
yeah, because our social interactions have been limited.
Yes.
When we do have social interactions, sometimes you throw a little extra on it. Hey, what's
Mhm.
up? What's up, KP? I heard the internet got shut down because of I don't know whatever it is you did to the internet. Mm,
Wait,
Uh,
what happened now?
uh, the Circus of Sin, they had their online situation the other day,
Last
and,
night.
Uh-huh.
and it was very tawdry, and it was like, whoo, and people were like, oh my God, what's going on? And then people were like, this shouldn't be happening, and then it didn't happen anymore.
Hello, Brian Cisco.
What's up, Brian?
Hi, Bri.
Yes.
Hi, Brian.
I love being associated with adorability, though. Like, I feel like
We
being
are,
adorable and cute are like the safest things in our society right now. Because you can't
yeah.
be handsome. Because if you're handsome, then that's just like, ew, gross. You're too cute, right? And if you're
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
beautiful, then it's like, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
know, there, with beauty, there's some intimidation factor. Like, you can't talk to them because they're too beautiful, you know?
True.
But if
True.
I saw Halle Berry on the street, I wouldn't know she was Halle Berry. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't know she was
You
Halle
would know.
Berry?
You would know. Not on the street. You would not know. I
Uh,
guarantee you, 100%
man,
of the time.
no, I think in San Jose, especially downtown San Jose, you would know.
Here's the difference.
Yeah.
If you
You would
saw
know.
Naomi Campbell on the street, you know it's Naomi Campbell.
Let me tell you this. One night at the Caravan, a model walked in, and you could tell she was a professional. Like, there's just that look, you know. She was like 6 foot tall,
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous, like
Mm-hmm.
Her
just
look
and
Mm-hmm.
was a certain way.
she walked in and I saw on her face right away was like, I don't belong in here. She
That's
stayed for like 3 minutes and then she like turned around and bounced. There was some crazy band playing or whatever, but yeah. Well,
yowza.
like that level of beauty in San Jose, not that the people in San Jose aren't beautiful, but like those people moved to LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
If you're from San Jose,
yeah. That's
you're likely not gonna be here much longer
right.
if you're a model. If you want to be a model, there's
Because
not a
that's
whole lot.
where
I just feel like there's not a whole lot of gigs for models in San Jose.
that's the point. You go where your dream is. You go to New
Yeah.
York. You go to.
And then you
Yeah.
come back and build a
There are
house.
plenty of model looking people from San Jose. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like,
That's why, like, I was.
Like the Doobie Brothers.
San Jose was a perfect place for me because it was like you follow your dreams. So I went to Country Inn Buffet, and
Oh,
that's
I
a good
found
name.
it. I
the
found it.
in.
Dreaming,
That's funny.
Let's see. What's yeah, none of us are model material. Nope. Nope.
Yes,
Nope.
you are.
Not today.
Not today. Not
Yeah.
today.
All of you are
Wait, Circus
beautiful.
of Sin got banned from Twitch. Yeah, of course
Yeah.
you got banned from Twitch.
Wait, how do you get banned from Twitch?
Because you can't show nipples or anything on Twitch. Twitch is like Christian. It's like, they're
Wait a minute.
Well-
Burlesque has a very strong no nips, no lips rule.
yeah,
So
but
I just
I don't know. I honestly I think if you got the right thong, you're going to be banned from Twitch. There have been plenty of gamers. There have been plenty of, gamers that got a little too. There have been gamers who've gotten banned from Twitch. There have been gamers who've gotten banned from Twitch for accidentally showing like, a part of their body.
on accident.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
Twitch
too
sus
sexy.
AF. Yeah.
Hey,
True.
Nick.
There's a lot of different things going on Twitch that I feel like people are getting away with.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Nick Verdi.
Wait, I want to tell Nick something. Nick,
Yeah.
So Aria's teacher, who we absolutely adore and love, is your drummer Zach's mother.
What?
From Magic Blues Band.
That's amazing.
I love Magic Blues Band.
She's awesome. Zach's awesome too. Magic Blues Band is awesome as well.
Yeah.
I love them. It was so funny. I was like, oh my God, I totally know.
Ooh, Spice Junkie says we're total babes.
That's one thing
Lydia,
that I love about San Jose is that there's always a connection.
San Jose is it is seriously the littlest big town. It's the biggest little town in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
I love
Lydia Wilt's butt was too hot, apparently. See, I told you. Like, it didn't even have to be a naked butt. I bet it wasn't even a naked butt. I bet it was just like, it was like just slightly unshaven, And Nick says, hello. Twitch is better than FB vid, though. For DJs, Twitch is way better than FB. Oh, for sure. Twitch is it's the best quality. It's probably the best quality of streaming video.
Yeah. There's servers.
Lydia's butt was.
Yeah.
It was.
That's funny.
Now you guys now Circus Sin is gonna have to go to OnlyFans. It's true.
Yeah, but then if it goes to OnlyFans, it's like it's gonna be better. It's just gonna be they'll have more opportunity. They no holds barred.
I feel like OnlyFans is a good place. I think we should go to OnlyFans and just go shirtless.
For this show?
Shirtless,
Mighty Late?
Topless. Like no one can see us without our shirts.
I mean, if we want to have an OnlyFans to see how long we can go without ever getting a fan, yes, then I agree with you. It was a naked butt. I told you, it's always nudity. And what sucks is that means that there's either an algorithm that is constantly looking for butts and boobs and genitalia. Or there are people who have to sit there and constantly go through all the channels and look for stuff.
It's just some guy named Fred doing it.
The guy named Fred, and that's his job.
Fred's just like, I can't tell if that's a bent elbow or an anus.
I wonder what his life is like. Yeah.
Steph says hi. Also, she's down for shirtless Atu online. Oh, just Atu, huh? Okay, I see how it is. Wow.
Their favorite.
When your milkshake brings all the people to the yard.
Why pay for that stuff though when it's free online? Yeah, I mean, well, are you talking about this show, which will always be free and never sponsored?
I think the shirtless porny stuff can be free.
It can be.
There's a difference between what's happening right now, the things that are filmed years ago.
You know what? I think that we should really consider the possibility of community nudity, where it's like it's free. We're doing it for the community. Community. That's it. Community.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, me neither.
Me neither.
In the privacy of my own home, when no one else is home, do I walk around with no dome? KP.
All right. I am. There's no need to wear pants. Okay. The only time I've worn pants online when I've been online is recently. I dressed up. I needed to wear suspenders, so I had to wear pants in order to wear suspenders. So. According to Dana, you could do both, OnlyFans and another. My favorite DJ on Twitch, Restricted, who are local, will be playing in an hour on Twitch. Oh, a little plug. And the woman, Evelyn, also has an OnlyFans site. Oh, I'm gonna have to check that one out. Thank you, Dana.
Get my chicken nugget in that.
Spice Junkie says, agree with shirtless Atu. Okay.
I told you.
All right.
It's bear season.
Also, most
bear season.
Most OnlyFans people have free content. It's called FetLife. Yeah, it's true.
What's FetLife?
Get a FetLife account for community nudity. Yeah.
All these people know how to get online. I'm
What
so
is
Dana introduced me to FetLife years ago.
What is it?
It's a fetish. It's any sort of like it's basically like Facebook for fetishes. Yeah. Hi, Cynthia.
Yeah.
What's up? Cynthia's in DC right now.
Pants are oppressive. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's this
Especially
say?
corduroy.
A fight. Jake Paul winning. What fight? You
Mike
talking about?
Tyson.
Yeah,
Oh,
but Jake
there's
Paul's
the-
not fighting Mike Tyson. Who's he fighting?
No, this is the undercard. The
I know.
undercard between
Who's he fighting?
he's fighting some I can't remember if it's a rapper or if it's like a sports guy. Like a basketball player or something. It's a basketball player. He's in a picture with the tall Chinese guy. I don't know. Anyway, I don't remember. I was watching Sports Center earlier.
Hey, Cat Bell. I gotta say, oh gosh, what's that thing that you need? Oh, caring. I don't care about this fight at all. Yeah.
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. is one of the best boxers of all time. So
Tyson is fighting Roy Jones Jr., who is Jake Paul fighting. Oh wait,
Jake Paul fighting.
I was just at the convenience store just a moment ago to pick up. I was feeling nauseous, and I went to the convenience store to pick up some some Diet 7-Up.
He's fighting,
and I was in the caring aisle, and I forgot to pick up some.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Fresh out of caring, huh?
Oh yeah, they was talking mad shit like that.
Fresh
like,
out of caring.
Yeah.
Mike's in his 40s. He's cut out a lot of things in his life. That's
hey, he has 0 fucks to give, just like Kevin Hart.
Streamline. You're like, I want this on my plate, but I don't want this on my plate.
Well, I gotta say though, I'm really, really glad that everyone is at least like. We got a lot of folks watching right now, and they are commenting. Please keep the comments coming because I love it.
Yeah.
Community. All right.
And
well,
guess who's not having any fucks at all? Just remember, he doesn't have it.
Can we go back to FetLife? Huh? That's way better. Way better. Actually, no. Here's what I want to do. I want to check up from the neck up. I want to check in on both of y'all.
Check it up.
See how you're doing. Atu, how are you? What's going on? Tell me something good about this week.
Tell me something good. Wow. Well, actually, in real life, there is a lot of tragedy and sadness in my family life right now. So, it's just been hard. I feel like Thanksgiving and the rising tide of COVID and all the different things that are coming with it is definitely like having an impact on everyone's lives, as it should, because fuck COVID and all the things. But I also realized too that, like, I keep saying this throughout this process of us having to reevaluate our lives, because I feel like we've all have reevaluated our lives since the beginning of this pandemic. And I keep coming back to this because I think it's super important to say, but like, I really found out who my real friends are. Like, no doubt in my mind. Like, I know whose house I can show up to right now and get a warm meal. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between that and like everything else. You know who your family is, good or bad. You know what to do in certain. Like, I feel more mentally sound because of the choices I've made during this time, and I'm appreciative of that. But also, it's been difficult, and I think a lot of people who have always struggled with things being difficult, this is the hardest time for them as well, and we have to like look out and be kind as much as we can. Because at the end of the day, boy, oh boy, that kindness goes 100 miles rather than if you're short and unkind, So just trying to work on being more kind, and that's my checkup from the neck up. I can't say any more or any less. I think that's what it is.
I can't say anything about like I'm going to be short no matter what. So I'm working on the kindness part. you know.
Ew.
Ooh, that's a nice little phrase right there. That's a t-shirt phrase if I've ever seen one. Nudity community, hugs for unity. What?
Oh, that's right. Community.
I like it.
Community.
Naked
Community.
Community.
I'm not gonna hug anybody naked for a while, but
No, it'll be a little while. It'll be a little while.
This shit is fun.
Okay, I'll straight up hug some naked people. I'm happy to hug people when it's safe. Yeah.
When it's safe.
When it's safe.
When it's safe.
Don't roll the naked people out too quick.
No.
Indoor dining, hugging naked people.
Ugh.
Quick. It's too quick.
Ugh. I tell you. Rachel, check up from the neck up. How are you? Tell me about your week.
I did not go to the families for Thanksgiving because it felt like it was my civic responsibility to not travel. And so stayed here and had a quiet Thanksgiving. And it was lovely. And spent a lot of time thinking about what I'm thankful for, kind of like Atu was talking about, like reevaluating. And yeah, I think this year has whittled a lot of the bull crap away. And you can kind of my vision has kind of narrowed in a way, you know. But yeah, I'm worried about, we're in for a hard couple months here. And so I'm worried about society. I'm worried about the electoral college vote, which is in 10 days, I think.
Whoa.
That's going to be that's Trump's last hurrah in terms of, I don't know that this is even feasible, but
I would be absolutely shocked. I would be shocked.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, we've spent his whole presidency saying he can't do that. He can't do that as he does it. You know what I mean? And so because of that, I already kind of have like sticker shock or whatever. I don't know if that's the right word, but like, I'm already like, I just don't ever know. It's like he doesn't stop. It never, it's always, it's like that person doing that to you.
Yeah.
But it's my
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
But it's my
I'm not touching
brain,
you.
and he's poking up my. So I just, and I'm
intense.
So I'm good and bad. Good and bad. How are you, Mike?
Well, it's 2020, so who knows? No, I am. This week has been interesting. I feel like I've shirked a few responsibilities this week, sort of unwittingly. I didn't really plan to. I'm going to be doing a little bit more work with like the money that I make right now is through writing for the Metro, and it's the only source of income that I have at this point. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting winter, because I'm realizing now, like especially with the spike in the in COVID going up, even here in the South Bay, like I'm going to be indoors even more. It's like, so winter plus COVID plus chunky lazy man, I'm not going to leave my house very much, and so I'm going to have to force myself to get out of the house more. And this whole week I've just been sitting at this desk, and I just feel dumb. I feel really, really dumb. I love the fact that people are having a conversation right now in the chat with each other. This is great. Spice Junkie meet Dana. Dana meet Spice Junkie. I'm very glad that Spice Junkie made it tonight because they've been wanting to join in this our show for some time now. Oh, Glory Holes. Okay, well, this is good. Well, it's no longer a family show. Cool. All right. No, I'm kidding. Like it ever was.
Yeah.
I am. I know who you are, Spice Junkie. Ugh, golly. You also did just email me and say I made it. So yes. The so for me, it's I started writing a novel this month.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Thanks. I mean, I've gotten hardly anywhere with it, but you know,
that's more than anything.
But it's got me like to the point of I adore you, Amada. I really do. It's got me really thinking this winter has really got me thinking about like my priorities, you know, what's most important. And I feel like while I love doing this with you two, this event, this show, and I want to keep it going because I feel like beyond it being a show for of entertainment, I see it as like important for the three of us to like keep talking, keep communicating, keep discussing what's going on, and like, you know, and keep our friends up to date on things, you know, and to really just be like, you know, a beacon, you know, a beacon and a bullhorn for stuff. Especially South Bay, especially Silicon Valley. So yeah.
Stuff that floats around in my head all week.
Yeah.
Get vomited up in these discussions. And so it's like a really
and so I would
for me.
I would urge you both to like start making like just jot down lists, you know, just jot down stuff like, oh, I want to talk about this on the next one. I want to talk about this on the next one, you know? And I almost feel in a way like part of me wants to do this every week.
Yeah.
Because I think that especially if we were to just do like an hour each week, and really keep it down to an hour, I think it could be worth it, you know? I just think it would be really hard to do.
Yeah.
What?
I'm laughing at There's no way we'll do an hour.
No, there's no way. There's no way. Actually, I'll see. You know what? I'm down to try it. I'm down to give it a shot tonight.
All right.
I'm saying an hour 7, really. If we can get
107?
An hour 107.
5 minutes left.
What's that?
We only have 37.5 minutes left.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. But I should point this out, though. This is important. This is important news. Isn't Mr. Walker so handsome? Look at it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Golly. But also
just disagreeing with you all. Yeah.
Just so much truth. Yeah, but your kid better get used to the fact that he's going to be just as handsome. He already is.
Yeah.
It's funny how the banners that I have written here are like, some of them are from like past shows, like this one, Rachel's tuna melt recipe. Which
is an amazing one.
I know. It'll happen. It'll happen.
It will.
I believe in it.
Pickles on it?
I don't do pickles. I do celery. I don't do, but there is a crunch.
I need crunch in mine. I got to have it.
Crunch is
vital. Can we go back to this though? Because this to me seems like really so important.
It's just community.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, folks. Nudity. Nudity. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so folks, if you're watching and you're having a good time and you enjoy this show and you want to support, drop some dollars in my Venmo, and that'll help pay for StreamYard and a bunch of other stuff. Apparently Amada thinks that we're all babes. It is true. Yeah. And also thinks that
Amada is a babe as well. Babes.
Oh yeah. Oh, without a doubt. And then commune nudity. So anyhow, let's go into some hella news, huh?
Yeah.
There was the big news out of San Jose this past couple of weeks. I think the biggest news is probably the Grace Baptist Church stabbing downtown, over on 11th, I believe. Was it on 11th Street?
Between 10th and 11th, right by San Jose State.
Not far from where you used to live, right, Autu? That was real
Yeah,
close to where you used to
a
live.
few blocks away from there. Those were the stomping grounds. I feel like if anybody goes around in San Jose, like you're going to encounter San Jose State. You're going to encounter that area. It's really sad what happened. Basically, there was 5 or 6 folks involved, and 2 people have passed, and then they apprehended the suspect that same night, and then a few other people were stabbed, and then they were in hospital. I think most of them starting off being in critical condition. One of the go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I read that 2 of the survivors are still volunteering. They're still volunteering at the church. They haven't. Nothing has stopped.
Yeah, and they both of those volunteers themselves have been very vocal about them still being committed to the houseless community of San Jose, and that this doesn't change how they feel about it. They've been very
it's amazing
and honest and committed to being doing that thing, which is very, very, I would say, one of the most challenging things you could do. But it also one of the things that came out of the situation is the police chief that's going out. Okay, the police chief that's going out. Someone was calling me right now. I don't know why.
Because you're very popular, and I'm really glad I have headphones on because what hearing I did have is now gone.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But the police chief that's going out of San Jose, basically, and the mayor's trying to walk back their. We heard that they're trying to walk back the sanctuary status because of this. They wanna like, we need to get rid of these immigrants and stuff like that. Yeah. But really, let's focus on what the mental health issue aspect of.
And that's what it comes down to. It's all mental health.
How do we deal with folks that are having challenges with mental health, and how do we support them in our community? And there really isn't a lot of places that people go. And the first places that they do go is places like Grace Baptist Church to get food because
where they're feeding people and taking care of people and trying to get people in from the cold, keep them clothed, keep them warm, keep them dry. It's really I don't know. I mean, living downtown, it's always been like it's a weird fight to treat people like human beings, even though
I agree with you there. Like it shouldn't be that hard to treat people as humans, right? But even in the neighborhood that's adjacent to Grace Baptist Church, on both sides of that neighborhood, they have borders. They have very clear borders that when you're driving through there, it signifies, hey, don't come in this white neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Nagley Park.
Yeah. And it's atrocious to me. Like even on that street, they have barricades and weird barriers, so you have to drive around in a weird pattern to get through that neighborhood. Like, why is that neighborhood so special, right? Like every other neighborhood, you could just drive through regular, Or like, what makes Nagley Park so special that they have special borders around their neighborhood?
It's the oldest subdivision in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken.
Right, it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. And this thing happens in the hotbed of that community where a lot of the leadership of this town lives. And the first thing that comes out from the leadership of this town, of the people that live in that community, is, we need to get rid of the immigrants. So that's how you really feel. It's not about the homeless thing. It's not about any of this stuff. We don't want to solve the housing crisis in San Jose. No, we want to kick out this. And the people that were the actual victims were saying, no, we need to solve this problem here. So I commend them, and I say, folks, do whatever you can to support Grace Baptist Church. Do whatever you can to show up for our unhoused community in San Jose, because it's tough out here in these streets, and there's not enough resources for folks to find quality housing. I know that they just opened up some housing right over here, down deep in the cuts of San Jose, where you could barely find out where it is. But
it puts you far away from all the services that you need, right?
Right. Why can't we have a homeless shelter in Los Gatos? Answer me that. Mayors of the towns in the San Jose's and the civic directors, how come we can't have a homeless shelter in the Menlo Park, Atherton? Speak it to the.
They were trying to put in tiny homes in Willow Glen, and everybody in the neighborhood of Willow Glen, and
people were like, no,
people were tripping
here, because what are they afraid of? They're humans, man. We're human.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
San Jose is weird in that it seems to relegate certain activities to certain blocks. You know what I mean? Like Atu said, there's a clear delineation between Negley Park and then you get to 11th Street and it's all Section 8 housing and frat houses.
Right.
And then you got the college right there.
Right.
And it really is like there's a clear block by block delineation of these people here and these people here. And you see it, downtown. Fountain Alley is another example of that, and so it's an odd, it is a really odd thing where it from one block to the next, downtown can be so different. It can have such a different energy, and I actually lived right there in Negley Park for 10 years before I lived where I live now, which is just like on the other side of Santa Clara. But I lived on 16th and San Antonio for 10 years. And those streets are fucked up. You can only go, you have to turn, you can't, there's no, you have to.
They don't want traffic going through there. They don't want anyone going through there who doesn't need to be there.
There's a barrier here. There's a hub here. There's speed bumps on the road. And it's like.
Roundabouts and.
A long time ago, I was through there one night, and some lady was walking her dog that I guess patrols the neighborhood. You know how white ladies do. So, like, I'm driving through there, and I'm heading towards the barrier, and I go around the barrier, and I keep driving straight, and the lady's like yelling and chasing me after, and I stopped the car, and I was like, "So are you gonna call the police on me, lady?" And she was like, "No, but you shouldn't be going around the barrier like that. It's dangerous." And I was like, "The barrier is dangerous. What if there's some public emergency and we need the emergency services need to get through here? They can't ram through the barrier. Like, come on. Like, realistically, what is it there for other than to make people look stupid when they're driving around in the neighborhood?"
Yeah.
It's irritating. I don't like speed bumps either, but that's a whole different thing.
Well, I think that I think one of the best things we could do is, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a religious person, but I do appreciate what Grace Baptist Church brings to our community. And I think that what they've had to deal with this past couple of weeks has been horrible, but there's been an outpouring of support from everybody for this church because they are really good people.
They've always done it. They've never asked for anything. They keep doing it. And I'm so thankful that they're there.
Yeah. So I think it would be a good idea if people were to look up Grace Baptist Church in San Jose and maybe help them out, send a donation or what have you, so they can do an even better job than what they're already doing in terms of housing people.
There's also,
from the
I believe, a
feeding
GoFundMe for the church employee who got stabbed.
Yeah.
Let me
if you got it, can you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dana. Okay, so let's see here. Hello News number 2. There's been a lot of talk about clearing student debt for frontline workers, especially nurses. And I think it's a great idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. I don't now, granted, I don't have all the numbers in front of me. But I honestly feel like it would be a really smart idea. And I'm curious what folks in the chat think about this, because I think it's one of the smartest ideas I think I've seen, and it seems to be trending on Twitter and Facebook right now. I don't know if you two have seen it, but it's something that I kind of wanted to discuss. But if we were going to wipe debt, who do you think, aside from just nurses, who else should have debt wiped out? Like, can you think of any other group that?
Well,
Teachers.
I'm down for all student debt being eliminated for everybody. You know, college should be free, education should be free. You know, we've monetized everything.
Yeah.
You know? And
I think everyone's student debt should be eliminated except for corporate lawyers and lobbyists.
well, yeah, I think that
yes, Sarah, yes,
that, you know, the expense of a higher education is part of the reason that we're in this trouble with Trump in the first place.
100%. That and healthcare.
The deliberate you know, defunding of our educational system, the deliberate way that they have made it boring, expensive, a pain, you know, it's just another form of like voter suppression. It's like education suppression, you know.
I think I think that it helps to create a class divide.
Yes, and
I think that
it helps
just
to hold these things in place. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would
agree.
like to see, you know, like Chase forgave all their credit card debt in Canada. I don't know if you remember this. I would be very happy if they did that here.
They forgave all credit card debt in Canada?
In Canada, yeah.
Wow.
That's what's up. We got to move Canada then.
Here, let me find it.
Yeah. Brian Cisco says, I could see clearing debt for some people being a good stepping stone to clearing it for all. That's true. That's true. See how it works.
I mean,
Start it off. I mean,
like if you do it with one particular group, then it makes it easier for another particular group. I would say all Native Americans and Black people should never have any debt. Like the government should just assume that based on whatever. Like, you know, I feel like if you're forcibly moved to a whole nother place because of what you look like, I think that might be a good reason to like not have any debt. I mean, come on, like you should be like, I feel like you should like get a house. Like you should get like 3 or 4 houses to kind of balance things out. I don't know. I feel like I want to take Wilford Brimley's house, like whoever that is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
Died.
Okay, well, his family legacy, I should own it.
Wait, why Wilford Brimley? Like,
I don't know.
You realize I'm probably related to him. You do realize that, right?
Like the government gave me Wilford Brimley's estate. Like I want to be able to say that in the conversation. I don't know why. I'm just kidding. I'm joking around. But
I know. It's been a dream of mine for some time to write a one-man show where I play Wilford Brimley, because I can grow the mustache and I have diabetes. So, you know, I'm
I don't know.
really kind of perfect for the role of a young Wilford Brimley. Not too young. I mean, bear in mind, I am okay. You guys do realize that I am 5 years younger than Wilford Brimley was when he was in Cocoon.
Yeah.
He was 49.
The same age that Paul Rudd is now. I've seen that on the internet, that Paul Rudd is the same age right now that
Paul Rudd is older than Wilford Brimley was. Paul Rudd is 51. Wilford Brimley was 49.
Paul Rudd is 51?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a cute 51. It's true.
That man has aged well.
Similar walrus energy. Sure. Yeah. Wait, are you saying I'm a walrus, Amada?
Hey, walrus
yes. I've seen Tusk.
Are unreal, B.
I had to turn Tusk
What's
off.
that?
I said Wallace's anatomy statistics are unreal.
The Beatus. I have seen Tusk. I actually fast forwarded through it just because I wanted to see how good the makeup was in it, and I was disappointed. I mean, it's a stupid movie. Is that the word? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Stupid movie.
Off after he started cutting pieces off. I was like,
it was just I don't know. I'm not gonna ruin it for anyone who absolutely needs to see Tusk, but I'll say this. I also this week, I should have said this in Checkup from the Neck Up. I finally watched Hereditary, and I'm so pissed at what a shitty movie that was.
What?
So pissed. Hereditary.
Is it what is it? What? Wait. What? Hereditary is like a scary movie, right?
Yeah, you could definitely say it's.
Is it with that lady with the red hair?
Awesomely terrible. Which one is awesomely terrible? Hereditary or Tusk? Spice Junkie Amada. Which one? Which one?
I'm horrible. I don't like scary movies. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to go to the movies and pay for fear. I don't want to do it.
Which it's perfectly bad. Okay, but which movie is perfectly bad? Hereditary or Tusk? Because Tusk is bad. Tusk is just it is like an intentionally bad movie, but Hereditary was just unnecessarily dumb. Like I was floored at what a worthless movie that was. And I kept hearing good things about it. Yeah, Tusk is definitely one of those movies where I could see people like going to a theater to watch a midnight showing of it and enjoying it and, throwing tusks at the screen,
I think people mistake Kevin Smith's films for like actual prose when I think most of it is satire. Like maybe weren't able to like level it off good with Tusk. I don't know, but Kevin Smith, he's not sophisticated. I don't feel like with his artwork. I think it's too basic for me personally. I don't know. Except for Dogma. Dogma was good, but I feel like he had a lot of collaborators in that project.
I feel like Kevin Smith he's hit or miss. Like half his movies is like Quentin Tarantino. Half his movies are okay, half his movies are unnecessary.
I finally did see the what was that Quentin Tarantino movie, The Hateful Eight?
Oh yeah.
I finally saw it and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I wasn't mad. Like at the time when it came out, like everybody kept bringing up how many times they used the N-word. But when I watched the movie, I was like, well, all of this is in context.
Sure.
So it didn't bother me as much. So I didn't understand what the big deal was. It's like a very typical Tarantino film. Yeah. And all of it played out very typically in a Tarantino whatever. I think it was more straight up and down than most of his films because like the timeline, he fucks with the timeline a lot. Mm-hmm. But like for that movie in general, like I was like, oh, I could have watched this in the theater and not been upset.
Yeah. I really like Cannibal the Musical. It's a funny movie. It's silly. I didn't see Orgasmo all the way through. Cannibal the Musical is like the first movie. It's the first film made by Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
It was their cult project.
Oh.
And then they did Orgasmo, I think, after that, right? I think Orgasmo was their next larger budget film, which I didn't see all the way through, but it's about a Mormon who ends up in porn.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Funny concept, yeah.
That's based on a real couple, actually.
Yeah.
Like there was this real couple that did that. Like they were
I don't know.
Mormon when it became okay.
Or Mormon porn, Pornman.
Yeah. Orgasmo is I want to see it.
There's lots of boobs and it's really funny. And
I got so high watching Cannibal the musical. All I remember is one scene with a horse in a river. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
yeah.
I have issues with Kubrick films, though. Can't do it.
Dang. I mean, we're going everywhere here. It's like,
Sorry, my bad.
no, it's funny. It's just like we went from like Trey Parker and Matt Stone to Kubrick, like that's a jump. That's a jump and a half.
I can't watch David Lynch because he makes me feel totally dumb because I just don't get it. I'm like,
yeah, I think I agree.
Why are there bunnies in the living room? Why are the old people small? What the fuck, dude? And then it's like, I'm like, you know what? I think this is a joke that the whole world is in on. And everyone's just pretending to get David Lynch.
Yeah.
Because
I know a lot of people that have been really like hurt after watching David Lynch movies. There's only one David Lynch film I've seen that I really thoroughly enjoyed, and it's because it's his most sort of standard film, and that's The Elephant Man. And I think most people don't realize that he directed The Elephant Man, but it's a fantastic movie.
Whoa. He's done a lot of movies.
David Lynch, are you a Lynch fan? Atu?
Me? No, not really.
Go watch Mulholland Drive and then come back and talk to us.
Yeah, see, I've seen
Why
Mulholland
are the
Drive.
old people small? Why are they small?
I don't understand. Mulholland Drive is just too much. It's too much for the people that were actors in it. Number one. Number two, like all of it, like Twin Peaks, yeah, Boo, yeah, I don't know, Dune, nope. Inland Empire, hell no. Yeah, I just can't. No, not a David Lynch kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't.
Do it.
Eraserhead, maybe, but then still, it's like, why?
Wasn't that? Was that a college film?
I don't even know, dude.
I can't remember if that was.
There's no context for Eraserhead. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Anyhow, student debt cleared for everybody, huh?
Yes, and if you have to go to college and you're in a film study class and they bring up David Lynch movies, immediately drop that class.
Fair enough. My favorite director. Let's see, what is Stephanie saying here? Watch A Night with Beverly Loughlin. It's David Lynch-esque. Okay. Nice. All right. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, Amato, you're right. I want to see the new Dune.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Better than the old Dune, because the old Dune is garbage.
Dang.
I mean, if you read the book and you watched the old Dune movie, you wanted to throw everything.
I haven't done either. I haven't done either because as a kid, I don't know what it was. Dune looked really unappealing to me. Really unappealing when I was a kid. I was like, no, Rocky IV's on again. And I'm not watching Dune. And so I never watched it, and I've never read the book, but seeing a trailer for the new Dune looks really fascinating. Yeah, I agree.
We should all read the book together on this platform.
I will.
You're ready for Dune.
Atu. Yeah. I love you and Rachel so much. So much. Okay? I will never read a book with anybody I love. Never. Nope.
You've never done that, like with a whole group of people?
I can't keep up. I can't keep up. You can't do anything to sync me with you while reading a book. You'd be like, we're reading chapter 8 this week. I'm like, I'm gonna read chapter 8 in 2027. All right.
You guys want to see what I'm reading right now?
Yeah, what you got going?
That's fair, Manny. That's fair. I mean, watch it. Watch Mulholland Drive, and then explain it to me.
Yeah, watch that movie.
Yeah. The new Dune. I think it's gonna be interesting. I gotta say, Timothée Chalamet. Ooh. He looks good. He looks like
Obelisk Gate.
The Obelisk Gate. So this is book 2 in a series. The first one's called The Fifth Season. Second one's The Obelisk Gate, and then the third one is called The Stone Sky.
Ooh.
And the author her name is N.K. Jemisin, And this series, each book won the Hugo Award.
Oh yeah, she's like very famous. Yeah.
No one's ever done that before. Each one of the books in her series won the Hugo Award.
How many books are in the series?
3.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I gotta read that.
So this is
Obelisk Gate.
You're on Earth and it's the future, and we fucked up and we destroyed the moon somehow.
Whoa!
Like we do.
So what happens on the Earth? What if there's no moon, you guys? What happens on the Earth?
The seas don't rise.
Crazy tsunamis.
Yeah.
Crazy earthquakes.
Yeah.
So this is like the future,
yeah.
But there's magic
and no more community.
It's no more community. But it's really good. It's really, really, really good.
I'm gonna read that. Maybe me and Ollie will need a book that we can collab on. So
well, I already finished book 1. You can have book 1, and then when I'm done with book 2, we can trade them down.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's book what?
This is book 2, the Obelisk Gate. So some humans have the ability to control the Earth. They can like stop earthquakes and stuff. They have magic power.
What's their name? NK Jemisin?
But the people with magic powers are treated as less than. They're treated as slaves to the society. It's really, really, and they're the ones with all the power,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, 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 really good.
Is it really good though?
It's really good. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, it is.
I'll have to check it out.
I have a tendency with fantasy to just read the same stuff over and over and over again. So like, even though I do read new stuff all the time, it's like, it's so nice when I find a new series that I know I'm going to read 20 times.
Here, I want to show you guys something. This will give you an idea of like where I'm at, right? So my buddy Tom recommended these 4 books, the Hyperion collection by Dan Simmons.
Okay.
There's 4 books in the series. And he gave me these 2.5 years ago, I want to say, about 2.5 years ago. And I think I'm on page, let's see, I can tell you because the bookmark's still there. I'm on page, looks like section A, page 12. I'm on page 12.
Oh, yeah. All right.
There's 12 pages.
There you go.
12 pages. That's how fast I read. My problem is that I read online. I read everything online, essays, whatever. If you want a book recommendation that recently was released, Eden Robinson is a local Indigenous author who has won awards. Her book Monkey Beach was made into a movie recently, and also her Trickster trilogy became a series on CBC recently as well. Thank you, Dana.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Nice. I always like book recs.
Talking about learning how to control the weather.
That's cool.
I love the Hyperion collection. Yeah, I'm sure I would if I could actually get through it.
Do we talk about topic 3 for Hella News?
Oh yeah, topic 3. Manny, that's funny. Let's see. Yeah, so topic number 3 is Mr. 45, Orange Shitbag, and his Tiny Desk Concert, as I like to call it. And the only reason because Atu brought this up, and I thought, you know what, we should talk about it. We should talk about the fact that the worst president in recent memory, without a doubt, is going to be leaving. And started reading Year of the Monkey by Patti Smith. Patti Smith as in the singer Patti Smith, that Patti Smith.
I have one of her books.
There's so many Patti Smiths in the world, and Patti Smythe as well. The president
had a news conference about something, and then he had a very small desk, and then one of the reporters asked him, "Hey, So if the Electoral College votes for you to be votes for Biden, you'll remove yourself from office. And he was like, of course I'll remove myself from office. What do you think this is? And he just looked very ridiculous. And I thought it was very ridiculous. All of it has been ridiculous. Because this whole time has been ridiculous. So much trash. So
he was trying to find a desk that made his hands look big.
Yeah, but no, that's not possible because they're too small.
Too small.
The funny thing for me in that is that he has weaponized Twitter.
He's been very successful at that.
Weaponized it against our country, and because of the tiny desk thing, the hashtag Diaper Dawn started trending.
Okay, so now I have. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue. But I have.
No, I'm sure you do.
I'm sure.
I'm assuming meaning he's a big baby or whatever.
Yeah.
But, so then he turns on Twitter and he's like, fuck these guys. You know what I mean? It's like, he can't, there's just no logic. Do you know what I mean? It's like
none whatsoever.
I keep thinking of a monster that eats itself,
Yeah.
He just, half the shit he does is just so self-defeating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is like, if it doesn't work out in his favor, then it's immediately his enemy. Like 100%. Like, oh my God, like you say something to him and he's like, oh, well, I disagree with you there. And then you're immediately his enemy. It's like, he can't even hear his own self be wrong. He literally contradicted himself in statements within the statement. And he does that intentionally so that, like, if it comes back to bite him in the ass later, one side or the other, he can always say that he just said that. And that's what his whole game is. He's been playing his shell game this whole time. I'm glad he's done. I'm glad. Let's hope the Electoral College does the right thing and we don't have to go to war. But let's keep it moving. I'm glad he kind of finally admitted that, like, he's going to, like, get himself up out of there. But we don't know what's really true, do we? Except we do know that the tiny desk was very small. Very, very small.
And then we're like laughing at that. And meanwhile, he's executing federal prisoners and like bringing back firing squads. And, so it's like he's got this like foolish aspect and then this very scary aspect.
Yeah, but I almost feel like that's just like
look over here while I'm actually doing this. There's a lot of that.
I think a lot of it has been, and I said this in 2016 too. I think that he was a big wrecking ball. He blew a big hole into the White House and let in all the corporate lackeys. He filled the swamp, and I think that a lot of people realized. Here's a guy who has an incredible base. If we deny him, we will lose so much of that base. So we're gonna go ahead and let him be who he wants to be and be in the White House and do his Twitter shit. And he'll distract everyone while we run and pilfer this country.
Yeah.
I don't think every single Republican has done that, but I think it's a very tiny percentage that is not a part of that club.
Right.
Very tiny percentage, and even, there's still plenty of evidence, plenty of pictures of, Mitt Romney having meetings with, all the shitty people, I think it's, I'm very sick of politics. I don't want to get to a point where we're not paying attention to what's going on in government because we're tired of it. But I think that that's a lot of what has been happening over the last 4 years, for the last 10 years, for that matter. I think that a lot of
fatigue with it.
Yeah, is that it's let's get people less interested in it. Let's make it a spectacle, and so that they're focused on semantics and
an actual public policy.
Right.
and reading what it is, and like knowing what the public policy really means and why folks were going about it in that way. Like I would agree with you, but I do like this resurgence of this informed youth in politics, where they're taking in charge and not letting folks get away with that same old playbook. You know, I think we all know it's kind of like, you know, this misinformation and distraction and stuff like that. We have folks out there like BLM and all these different movements who've been very critical of everyone in the process, not just from Democrats and Republicans and anyone that benefits from not telling the truth. And that's what matters. I think we need to get back to having our governmental entities and things having some integrity, in which they've never had before. And then that also needs to be acknowledged. So none of these government agencies have ever had integrity in a way that's actually true. Like, you know, we've had redlining, we've had mass incarceration, we've had the war on drugs, we've had a faulty immigration policy throughout the dynasties of our culture. You know, from Chinese citizens not being able to be citizens of America, all the way to Irish folks that came over here that are blocked from citizenship as well, and their children. So it's not, you know, these things have been impacted by all the groups that come in here, except for, you know, the Protestant oligarchy. And it's sickening that they have so much control over what our democracy looks like. And we have to change it, because it's our democracy. We're the ones that pay for it day in and day out. We're the ones that have to go out and work every day and do what we got to do to feed our families. It's not their democracy to dictate to us what it should be. We are the ones that should be telling them, hey, these are the things we want, and we should be as loud as possible. And I don't want that to ever to stop. I'm inspired by it, but the thing that does bother me is the money and the corporate interests, and that's what needs to be eliminated.
Yeah, and like Biden, he just chose Cedric Richmond, who is a Democrat from Louisiana, to lead the White House Office of Public Engagement. He's expected to serve as a liaison with the business community and climate change activists. During his 10 years in Congress, Richmond has received $341,000 from donors in the oil and gas industry, the fifth highest total among House Democrats. You know,
that's wild.
That's Biden's new team.
Well, I heard from him directly about this, and this is what he had to say about it. Like, his district and his community where he lives, they have all that offshore drilling in Louisiana, and a lot of his constituents work in those plants. And, you know, he said he's taking money from environmentalists as well. He's taking money from all these other people, but he doesn't follow suit with what their needs are. That doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that he believes in what their goals and mission are, is that they have contributed to his campaign.
I knew
his congressional district is home to 7 of the 10 most air polluted tracts in the country.
Yep.
So
he does need to do something about it. He does need to do something about cleaning up his record. And we have to look at his voting record. We have to hold him to account. Because if we don't, if you didn't bring that up, how would people know, right? We have to be able to tell them, like, look, this is what your record is. Explain. How are you going to do differently? How are you going to be the person that represents us if you're the person that represents us? And they need to be held to account. And we need to have representatives that are not scared to be held to account and do the right thing. And I think maybe we have a chance with some of these fools. But I also feel like we can't call Kamala up. We can't call some of these people in the new administration's office and hold them to account. Where the difference has been, there's no way possible that, you know, President a 45 teabag crumbs in a Cheetos bag guy is ever going to do that. You know, they're going to listen to us. But at least we have something we can hold them account to, right?
Yeah. I mean,
we need community structures of mutual aid because we can't count on the ballot box to save us. Collective change, i.e., bodies in the streets, are the only things that have garnered the vast majority of our rights. What's that quote? The only thing that's ever changed anything were small groups of people.
One thing President Obama brought up, because he wrote a new book. Obama's new book is coming out. I recommend people read all 700 million pages of it.
It's called Dune 2, right? I think.
Anyway, President Obama said in his new book that one of the reasons why he wrote it is because he wants people to understand what the full facet of what that job entails and what it really means. And that I think, and I quote, one of the things he said is that when you're a president, you're passing the baton from one era to the next. And when you have it, you have priorities, and you have no control over the priorities that the previous baton holder had and who you're passing it off to. And he said, all you can do is try and do as much as you can within that time. And I'm thankful that, there are some things that he did great. There's some things that he did terribly. President Obama himself, but like acknowledging what that really means is that we also have a stake and a role in that, in our own thing too. If we want something from our representatives, we need to go out there and demand it. We can't just leave it up to them.
Right.
And we've been doing that too long in American society, where we've left it up to them, and it's gotten us nowhere. I have a lot to say about these topics, I'm sorry. But I just think we could do better, and I know that like we can, because I've seen it. I've seen the beauty of this conversation even happening, and that demonstrates that we have the ability to chart our own course in this matter.
Yeah. I want the Star Trek future. You know what I mean? I want us all out exploring space together.
My dad does too,
It's like that's I want us advancing as a civilization and stop, destroying ourselves. We're so young though as a species. we're and I'm sure I've said this before, but like, yeah, we're the most current in time, but we're still babies.
Yeah.
Evolution wise, we're still violent and religious and, all of these, things that will take hundreds and thousands of years to evolve that stuff out of us. We're at the beginning.
Well, the other thing too is like realistically, we spend so much time avoiding the conversation of what our past has been in America. Yeah. Whereas Japan or some other countries where they have like this deep cultural identity and have this deep connection with their past and their history, we don't have that here. We don't acknowledge some of the terrible things or even the great things that have happened within our country by all our different cultures and groups. We don't have that in America, where we see the plethora of contribution. We only see in our, when we go to our elementary school classes, we only hear about the one contribution and how, these white dudes took on, they only acknowledge one black person that died in the Revolutionary War, which was Crispus Attucks, and they basically chalked that up to be an accident. But in real, if you do the research about who Crispus Attucks was, he was the one leading that march, and there's a reason why they shot him first, because he was the one out there trying to get all the workers out there to strike against this tyranny in their community, right? They were tired of getting their heads beat in by the redcoats. And he's like, yo, we shouldn't take this anymore. And he died for our democracy, and he was leading a march. And that's what happens in our society, like people miss that part because they don't know,
or it's deliberately left out of what we're told. I mean, we're told the white settlers and the Wampanoag Indians, you know, they taught them how to grow corn, and like the reality of the situation is so different.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Thanksgiving and the genocide that happened.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. Like, you know, that the those pilgrims survived because they moved into a ghost town belonging to the Wampanoag because they had been decimated by infection and illness brought on by European fishermen.
And that most of those people that survived from the Mayflower, the reason why they survived is because they were digging up the graves of the Wampanoag people. And the reason why the Wampanoag people decided to take pity on them and be like, hey, you know what? Can you guys stop digging up our graves? We have food for you. And that's how the first Thanksgiving happened. They were tired of these fools going through and digging up the graves and eating the dead bodies from the graves. That's what was happening.
That's so crazy.
So, I mean.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, so much of one thing that was drilled into my head as a student in this country was manifest destiny. Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah, manifest destiny.
So
basically,
it's white people have the right to colonize and do what they do. That it's our destiny to conquer, to whatever.
It's our destiny by God. God gave us
the right. Over. I remember we had several discussions about that when I was in school, you know, and it's telling, it's forgiving, it's excusing genocide, homicide, you know, colonization, every dirty thing, because it's you're right, you know, it's your duty, it's your, you know, it's such bullshit. You know, it's such bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things when you talk about systemic racism, that's one of those deep threads running through it, is that philosophy.
And you know, manifest destiny is still on the books, right?
Is it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still on the books, B. Like, they haven't done any. I mean, that's the thing about our laws in our country too. It's like there are laws that are still on the books that if somebody wanted to use them, they could, and they'd be well within their rights, right? Unless somebody has come out and unless the Supreme Court has knocked down that law and deleted it or whatever it is. But I'm pretty sure manifest destiny is one of those things that's still on the books. And if some president decided to come in and be like, "Yo, this is my economic agenda,"
yeah,
what's to stop them from doing that, right?
Yeah,
when you look up just on the West Coast alone, from Mexico all the way up through California, it's the absolute tyranny of the Catholic Church, and the missions coming through
and starting their colleges.
Yeah. I feel bad because I keep telling myself I'm going to remember to do this every single time I do a show, but we are on unceded Ohlone territory, unceded Ohlone lands, and that it's important for us to understand this and to know, for thousands and thousands of years there were people who lived here well before anyone else came over from Europe, and that they were never given an opportunity, you know. And I found out not too long ago that there were a lot of people, a lot of the indigenous peoples of this area, this region, were, and throughout all of California, had to disguise themselves as Mexican. They had to claim that they were Mexican so that they wouldn't be murdered. By the colonizers, you know. And it's
Mexican colonizers and white colonizers from the States as well. It was both in at that particular time. and that's how they kind of hid from it. But like realistically, that's how it came to be, and it sucks. But we have to understand that like Christianity did a lot to eliminate the real culture of what this native land has been, and it sucks. From taking the kids out and putting them in the reform schools and all of the abuse and all the things that have happened in those reform schools during that time. It's just kind of like we have this history of this overdeveloped view of what America is, and it comes from this one stream of information. And it's the same reason why witches were drowned and buried alive, and it's the same reason why, because some dude felt uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden murder's got to go down, and you're like, wait, why does murder have to happen as the first thing? Why is it murder? I don't know.
Yeah, start small. Start
like can we have a conversation? Why does somebody have to die?
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
My child is eating goldfish. They're delicious, by the way.
I love you, Ollie. I miss you.
He said,
That's cool.
Yeah, that's true. But they kept Christmas for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, no, they kept Christmas in order to lure pagans over. Right? They said, "Oh, well, you celebrate solstice? Well, our Lord was born around solstice."
Right.
Like, oh, you celebrate Easter? You celebrate the vernal equinox? Oh, that's amazing because that's when our Lord died. So that lines up perfectly. It's.
I think that the more truth comes out about our actual history, I think that, and that's one of the benefits of the internet is that all this information is readily at hand. And also the ability to listen to people's personal experiences, see on video, people being abused, people being, to see it with your own eyes. It's waking people up and it's pissing people off, and
we need that. We
need the anger.
Yeah,
we need the anger, because anger doesn't necessarily have to be a destructive thing. Anger can be very productive. Righteous flame sword wielding anger where you
get some research, right?
Oh, you're fucking right. You're right. You know what I mean?
You're like reading all these books and like finding the facts, and you're like, yeah, I knew it.
You can get a lot done that way.
I know.
You know what I mean? You can fill a schedule with that energy, and make stuff happen. So, and it's important. It's important for people to be fired up, because no one's going to change it but us,
Anger is an energy. Yeah.
It is, for sure.
I love you both very much, and I just want to point out that I love you, and that whenever the conversation veers into like frustration and intense energy, I want to remind everyone out there that love is a really incredible thing, and that it's what, like, the anger is going to help change things. The love will help us stay together and understand that anger is okay when it's constructive. And that
right, you need love too. You need compassion.
Books not bullets, baby.
But I also wanted to say too that I wanted to sort of get some last minute thoughts, some closing thoughts. I want to see. I really do want to see if we can actually end this before 2 hours. You got goldfish. I'm also suddenly hungry too. So
Yeah.
I really want to go heat up some leftovers.
I made some awesome sweet potato pies, I have to say, for Indigenous Genocide Day. So it was beautiful.
I got to eat sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving. It was nice. And I got to take 2 pieces home with me. And they're gone.
Where'd you get them from, Rachel?
I did Thanksgiving with my best friend Jen and her husband Damon and my godson Cameron. We're in a bubble. So it was the 5 of us with Aria for Thanksgiving, and it was very nice, very quiet, very small, and we had a great time. Watched a lot of nature. There's this show on Netflix that I love called Absurd Planet. Have you guys seen it?
No.
It's a nature show called Absurd Planet, but it's like silly, funny, but it's got a lot of really, really cool stuff. So we watched. My godson Cameron is super into animals. Like he's almost 4. Animals are his jam. Favorite animal? Elephant. Elephant is the favorite animal. He told me last night several times, or he told me on Thanksgiving. So I know that now. But yeah, it was good. It was good. And yeah, Damon made sweet potato pie and gave me extra because he's a good man.
That's lovely.
I don't know. Yeah, there's this whole debate about sweet potato pie versus pumpkin pie. And I'm going to tell you, pumpkin pie will always lose.
Will always what?
Lose.
Yeah. Sweet
pumpkin
potato
pie will always lose.
I don't know. Pie is pie to me. I'll eat any pie. Doesn't matter.
Any at all.
Yeah. Except for like a pot pie with meat in it. That I won't eat.
Can't do that anymore. There's this restaurant in Big Bear where I went to high school called the Teddy Bear Restaurant, and they're open 24 hours. And when I was there, they literally had a woman named Mom who would bake their pies. Everyone called her Mom. I'm assuming she's dead now, but she used to make strawberry rhubarb pie, and they would serve it with honey ice cream. And it was like the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Sounds delicious.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Hot pie,
ice cream?
honey ice cream.
That sounds great too.
It was so good. It was so good.
With like little bits of honeycomb in it?
No little bits of honeycomb, just smooth honey taste.
Smooth honey ice cream.
Thick buttery crust on the pie gave it that crunch, and then like rhubarb's tricky because you can poison yourself if you eat it raw, it's poisonous. Yeah. But you have to prepare it just right.
Manny says pumpkin pie, son. I also wanted to point out earlier he asked if we preferred this or being at the caravan. I'm not sure what he was getting at, but because he saw that I changed the background to the inside of the caravan for a split second. And I would say like this show is just very different from what we were doing at the caravan.
Yes.
Like that was a live show that it featured live guests, whereas this is like a talking head show. This is it's same name, very different slightly different concept.
No Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, no Cards Against Humanity, what have you. So Manny, I will say that this is just different. I mean, it's our way of being able to be together in a way that's not together. That's all. So I just wanted to comment on that. I think it's funny when people say like, "Oh, this is better than this." And it's like, well, just enjoy the thing you enjoy. If you love pumpkin pie, yes, sweet. If you prefer sweet potato pie, yes, I'm happy for everybody. I'm so happy for everyone. It's always funny. Like every holiday, there's always like, I see so many debates on like, well, this is better than this. And it's like, you're fighting with opinions. It's like swords made out of water balloons. Like
what?
It's just funny. It's so funny to me.
That's
like, awesome. I think, I'm a little envious of people who like I'm not going to lie. I miss chicken. I really miss chicken.
Yeah.
Love you too, Dana. Thanks for being here.
I like shrimp.
I love shrimp.
Yeah, my kid loves shrimps.
Loves what?
Shrimp.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan too. I am. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something that I don't like, but I would never say that the thing I prefer is better than the thing I don't like, because it's just, it's food. Food is food.
Well, these choices, they define us, right? Like, are you
Oh
a
yeah.
potato person or a pumpkin pie person? Do you like pho or do you prefer chicken noodle soup? What's your favorite color? Like all these little things. But then, it's a very American thing to make it competitive.
It's pretty funny. Like it kind of blows my mind how much we want to compete with our preferences.
So let's compare yours and Atu's beards. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I won, so bam. Sorry, Atu.
Mine is less soft than man. Job done.
Good ones. Hey, Jeanette.
Hello, Jeanette.
Oh.
I love Jeanette. She's one of those comedians on comedy Zoom nights. She's one of those comics that'll just, me too. But she'll just drink from the bottle. She'll just
the
bottle.
Yeah.
Her set. She's like, she's not even gonna bother with the fucking glass anymore. It's pretty awesome.
The left-handed drinks are slightly better. Oh my.
That is true, Amada. That is true.
There is something about an emotional experience eating something where it's so good, like everyone in the room is quiet. I do have to acknowledge, like, that's not a preference anymore. That's just like a great situation, where you're eating and then everyone is kind of like, everyone is just having the joy. Have you seen that joy face after you take a spoonful and your whole body relaxes? Because you're tense beforehand. You don't know what it's going to taste like. No idea. You put it in your mouth and you go.
In terms of what? What specifically?
Nothing. I just feel like that experience, above all other things, like that's what makes people remember how good the food was. It's like, because you could depend on how hungry you are, but like it's very true when you're in a room and everyone is having the same experience with the same food, and you all have to kind of sit there and acknowledge, like, yo, this. Yeah. There's something to that. Like, I feel like that's where that competitiveness, I feel like, comes from, where like you remember what that felt like at that time, and you go to somebody else's house and be like, your macaroni and cheese is shit compared to something I had at Timmy's house the other day. Like I so I mean, I'm not to disparage your thoughts. I just feel like that's where I feel like the core of that comes from, where that feeling is. Sure. And maybe we should spend more time acknowledging the wholesome feelings of like where things come from instead of the competitive nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that way about your chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
I had that moment when I took a bite of your fried chicken.
Yeah, I made some.
I miss fried chicken. I do. I really miss it.
I'm sorry. I was not trying to.
No. It's fine. I mean, like I'm not offended or upset by any means. I just miss it. It's one of those things where I'm like, but I don't miss it enough to go back to it. You know what I mean?
Good for you. That's like smoking.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't miss it enough to go back to it. Yeah.
That's right.
Atu's fried chicken is the best.
Thank you.
According to Jeanette. The best fried chicken I ever had was my buddy Anthony Miller. He made it was the best. I mean, to this day, it's like I would give anything to go back to that. Although I will say too, I really enjoyed chicken karaage, which is like the really kind of hard, crunchy chicken at like most sushi places or ramen places will have it. I wanted to point out the funny joke that Christopher Kloss put on the screen here. We have a pho place in Keene, New Hampshire called Pho Keene Great, right next door to City Hall, which they did not love. That is awesome. Yeah. Pho Keene Great.
I love it.
That's how you can tell he's lacking.
Oh, my gumbo, yeah, Jeanette. Yeah, I gotta make gumbo. I think I'm gonna make gumbo in a couple weeks. My friend,
I didn't get any of your last batch.
yeah, my friend Fitzroy has a pop-up restaurant. He's gonna let me use his pop-up on Tuesday, one of these coming weeks, to do a pot of gumbo. So if folks want to get a pot of gumbo, they can come over to Mesquite and Oak during Spicy Roy's Jamaican. He does a Jamaican jerk chicken. So I was gonna make a pot of gumbo for him to sell.
Ooh, I
Jerk
want
chicken.
both of those things.
So if you haven't had Spicy Roy's jerk chicken though, hey, he does vegetarian and vegan as well. I can attest to that, and he does seafood as well. So if you have any particular Jamaican food needs, I would say get them from Spicy Roy and nowhere else.
You've brought me the fish a couple of times, Atu, and it is fantastic.
Ooh, that's
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Curtis took me to this chicken place in Berkeley, and I'm trying to remember what it's called.
There's a barbecue. There's a barbecue spot. I don't know if it's still there. I mean, I don't know if anything's still there.
Yeah. This was like, before pre-COVID.
Yeah. Well, they say that San Francisco alone is going to lose another fifth of its businesses in the coming months. Yeah.
Retail's been hit the hardest, I feel like. And then there are some restaurants that are surviving just because they do good stuff. And I'm happy that they're surviving. There's a spot in Oakland that I've never experienced before this last month called Copper Spoon. They do everything all organic. They have a very small but selective menu. They do some secret comedy shows there on the weekends. So if you ever want comedy, go to the Copper Spoon. But real talk, the food was amazing.
Real talk. While we have her here, why don't we maybe see if Jeanette would like to join us on the next Mighty Late show?
Jeanette,
you want to be a guest?
Are we going to do it next week or 2 weeks from now?
We wouldn't do it next week. Oh yeah, right. I see what you're saying. Well, see, that's the thing, is that we might have to consider changing the day because I have an open mic on first and third Saturdays. So we'll talk about it. We could also move this event to Fridays too. So
either way,
or Sundays. Sunday nights could be good too.
That's true.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with you guys.
So Jeanette says, of course. So Jeanette is our guest for the next Mighty Late. We'll let you know when that is. We'll let you know when that is.
Mac Daddy up here, we got Rachel and Mike McGee. We're dropping cookies. It's a Mighty Late show. We're doing something fresh. I'm hoping to be back here next time we get together for a test. We're going to talk about things like politics, mom, and pop. We don't know what we're about to box, but we know that I hope my boy is winning. I hope the dude Mike Tyson is beating on his face.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening.
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh, I forgot to care. Golly. Oh, boxing is dumb.
I love boxing.
Mike Tyson's 10 years older than me. I can't even straighten my legs some mornings, It's
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely impressed with the things that athletes can do, but man, punching on people is just really stupid.
Our violent tendencies, man.
I mean, I get it. We're we're animals. We're dumb.
You know what though? I watch football now, and all I see is a bunch of guys trying to hug each other.
They miss touching people.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Just like a pack of lonely guys just trying to get hugs.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially what those motorcycle groups are, There's hey, I bought a motorcycle. Hey, let's
talk about motorcycles.
Let's talk about motorcycles.
We don't talk about intimacy at all and how to better our relationships with anyone.
Well, I always find it really funny when a bunch of guys from different walks of life they track down like other motorcycle riders, you know, and then go to a cafe, you know, they all just, you know, they loud it up. They loud up the neighborhood.
Drive up the night. I got nothing but respect for most clubs. A lot of clubs do get a little rapey and scary.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the lifestyle. I have several club stories that I will never ever tell.
Okay. Well, thanks for
Right up
teasing
here in
us.
my brain.
Thanks for the tease.
Yeah, wait.
Appreciate it.
Rachel probably has like 3 or 4 good tell-all books in her brain.
Yeah. Let me just say, when I
Probably.
started at the Caravan, it was a very
Different time.
very different crowd, very different environment, and an awesome, you know, in its whatever. But I had experiences that I never expected to experience. So, where, like, you know, you tell somebody a story and they think that you're way cooler than you are when you were just like scared in a room. Like like the story sounds really awesome and like, you know, whatever, but it's like, nope, just petrified in the corner, just hoping that
hoping
get out of this situation.
just really hoping no one in this room flips out. I've been in that room. I know what you're talking about.
You guys want to hear one of the dumbest things I ever did at the Caravan?
Yes.
Okay, so back in the day, before the current owner owned this, so this was over a decade ago, we had 2 security cameras, neither one of which worked. So this club, I'm not going to say what club it was, but a particular club came in, and they were friends of mine, and they and friends of the bar, and the president was there with the vice president, and the vice president was looking for trouble. He was looking for somebody to pound. He was looking for whatever. And this was back when you could drink as a bartender. This was back when you could drink at the Caravan. So I definitely had some drinks in me that night. And my buddy, who's the president of the bike club, I'm outside smoking a cigarette, and he brings the vice president out. And the vice president's like 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds, all muscle, big bald dude, like biggest guy in the bar. And the president is talking to him, and he's going like, "Hey man, you don't want to do that, man." Or right, he was more like, "Hey man, you don't want to do that, man. There's security cameras everywhere, you know." And I'm sitting there, and I turn and I go, "Oh no, the cameras are broken. You can do whatever you want." And my friend who was the president turns to me and he goes, "Rachel, shut up." Like that. That was like one of my biggest boner moves there.
He was looking for an excuse, and that was like
Dude,
the next level excuse.
Those cameras don't work. Yeah, that was not my brightest moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, I think DJs have a rule too. It's like you can't play like certain songs like if people start fighting, like you know what I mean? Like you can't play like Bring the Motherfucking Ruckus or like Throw Them Bows or something like that. Like
there are songs I will play to calm the room down.
Oh.
There's a psychology to music and a psychology to music in a bar. Guess what my number 1 calm the room down song is?
What is it?
September, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nobody's ever mad about that song.
You can't fight during that song.
You can't.
You can't.
That music. And everybody.
Do you remember? In September.
You can't fight to that song, and no one knows the lyrics to that song, so it all works out.
Except the band.
Maybe they might know it.
They might know it at this point. They're probably just.
I mean, no, everybody knows like 3 or 4 words in that song for sure.
I know some lyrics to every song, but I don't know all the lyrics to any song. I don't think.
I mean, That's just life.
Oh.
My bladder's screaming. So in order for me to make things happy in my body, I need to go. So I think now is a good time. We're ending it on a high note.
I know.
September, by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Thank you, Earth, Wind, and Fire, for a perfect song.
It is.
Denoting the end of summer.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like we need like an end of winter song. There's got to be. Oh yeah, Here Comes the Sun. That's a good end of winter
Here
song.
comes the sun. Do do do.
And I've been telling people check out Nina Simone's cover of Here Comes the Sun. It is sublime.
Nice.
Simone
Sublime.
doing anything is like
Sublime. Well, except for her covers of Slayer. Her covers of Slayer are really odd. They're very unusual.
Yeah.
really. She did those.
No. Man, I got him. Got him.
Donner's covered.
Got him.
I was like, no, I want to listen to some of those covers now.
You're welcome, Manny. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
You.
Jeanette, love Nina Simone. Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
If you don't love Nina Simone, then you probably don't love yourself. Probably.
She's amazing.
Call me, dude. Okay, no problem. I got you.
Who? There's at least a few dudes on this screen. You need to.
I don't know what dude who they were talking about, but we'll make phone calls.
I'm assuming it was Atu.
Well, I have her number, so
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like,
You're right. You know
fair,
what? You're right.
fair.
Fair, fair.
Otherwise-
All right. I love
Okay.
you all. Thank you
Guys,
so much.
thank
I
you.
love you.
Late
I
show.
love you.
Check us out next time. You'll find out about it on Twitter or Instagram or your mama's house.
Yay.
True. All right. Good night, folks.
Good night.